Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Suddenly Sleepy Saturday. Hi, everyone, it's Julie Flygar, and I am so excited to welcome you to our Suddenly Sleepy Saturday Sleep in 2015 broadcast. I am here in Los Angeles, California, and I'm so excited to celebrate Sleep Week with you, and I've loved seeing your pictures from your sleep-ins all over the world. It was actually pretty awesome yesterday when I was still at work in the middle of the day and saw on Instagram that our friends in Australia had already started their sleep-in and were way ahead of us in getting in their hours. So thank you so much to our friends in Australia for kicking us off, and in Sweden and the UK, and now all the way here in Los Angeles. I'm just getting up early on Saturday morning, so I'm just getting started. It's been a really exciting event. I'm so excited, as of right now, we have 90 people included in the sleep-in, and over 1,400 hours pledged to sleep in over this weekend to raise awareness about sleep health and sleep disorders. We've had a lot of media attention, so in the UK with April Scarlett, and in Canada with our friend Chiro, and here in the US with Brian and Jennifer. Just an incredible job getting the word out. So thank you so much to those that have contacted the media about our event. And we've also had a sleep lab in Georgia, Athens Sleep and Wellness Center. They have 4 people participating and raising awareness. And I think this is really incredible because it shows that we're not only a patient passion organization, but we're connecting with people that are running sleep labs who are also really passionate about the cause. So this is really great to be connecting together to raise awareness. We have people participating all over. So I've mentioned a few places, but we have the US, Canada, the Philippines, Australia, Sweden, and New Zealand. So thank you guys so much. I wanted to just share a little bit about how we got started, because the sleep-in, it was, let's see, I'm going to share my screen here. The sleep-in has been a really great event for Project Sleep, but I didn't start this all on my own. I want to share a few faces for how we got started. Josh Robbins is a HIV positive health activist, and last year around this time we did a Google Hangout together, and he mentioned, I was telling him about our sleepwalk events, and he mentioned the idea, why don't you do a sleepathon? And I thought that was a pretty great idea. So we started talking about that, and then I told a friend here in LA, another sleep advocate, Julie, and she mentioned that she remembered that John Lennon and Yoko Ono had done bed-ins in the late 60s to raise awareness for peace during the Vietnam War. So I started researching about them and seeing a lot of their pictures of their bed-ins, and they actually stayed in bed for a full week, twice, for peace. So I love researching about that. And then I met Chiro at the Narcolepsy Network National Conference, and I was telling him about the idea, and Chiro just loved it and really helped us develop it. He worked with a graphic design artist in Canada to make the Sleep-In logo, and he's been instrumental in getting our concert ready with Kendall Patrick and the Headless Betties. So we're really excited about that. So those are some of the people that have helped in developing this concept. Why is this important to us? This event is super important for everyone that has sleep disorders, but also just the general public. It's really important to know that nearly 70% of adults report insufficient sleep at least once a month. 70% of people are feeling sleepy at least once a month, and 11% report insufficient sleep every day of the month. So, this is just really striking. And 70% of high school adolescents are not getting the recommended amount of sleep either. And this is really bad because, lack of sleep for adolescents is putting them at a higher risk for suicide, obesity, depression, mood problems, lower grades, and delinquent behavior. So the Start School Later movement has been really incredible to bolster attention to the importance of helping our teens get enough sleep. Now, for a lot of people, healthy sleep habits aren't even enough, that they might actually have a sleep disorder. 50 to 70 million Americans chronically suffer from a sleep or circadian rhythm disorder. This is really important to note that, if you're feeling sleepy every single day, it may actually be a sleep disorder, and there can be treatments and other changes that can be made to help. So, you have to learn about the different sleep disorders and seek out a sleep specialist and go to a sleep center for a diagnosis. All right. With that, I am so excited to introduce some of our sleep-in locations all over the world. So today we're going to start with Jennifer. And Jennifer, are you there to check in with us?
I'm here.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi. Very nervous.
Oh, that's okay. So, Jennifer, tell us a little about, what you're doing, where you are, how many hours you've pledged, and why this is important to you.
All right. I'm Jen Beery, and I'm in Carson City, Nevada, and I've pledged at least 30 hours for the sleep-in, hopefully more. Just need y'all to donate, so come on. I have my Narcolepsy Not Alone shirt that I'm wearing with my colorful PJ bottoms and my Project Sleep bracelet as well. And then I have my sleep buddy. This is Layla, and she loves to sleep with me. So, and she's amazing too, because she also helps me when I get stuck in certain sleep paralysis or bad dreams or anything like that. So, the sleep-in is important to me because I've learned over the last year that it's really widely misunderstood, narcolepsy is, and the perceptions that others have with narcolepsy. I've just decided that if no one else is I'm gonna advocate for those that have narcolepsy and spread awareness so others can understand and realize that this is a real incurable chronic neurological disability that we're dealing with. It's not just get over it type of disability. So Nevada, this was the first time ever Nevada did a proclamation for Suddenly Sleepy Saturday, so yay for Nevada. And the sleep-in is extremely important to me to show people without narcolepsy how they can support people with narcolepsy and moving forward and just being there for us.
Oops, that's so incredible. And Jen, can you tell us if there was ever a time that you felt that someone really misperceived your sleepiness as laziness or moodiness, or that they didn't understand that what that symptom, how it was showing?
Well, I hid it for a really, really long time. I was known as Supermom, the mom that can do anything, the wife that can do anything, very persistent, and would get anything done that needs to get done, and very meticulously at that. Over the last 8 years, though, it had becoming increasingly more difficult to be able to stay on top of everything and be really tired. And so when I was diagnosed with this back in January of 14, my husband had a really hard time understanding, because he didn't see a lot of the things that I was dealing with, even though I had been going to the doctor for a long time for being so tired and having my blood level, thyroid check, all this done, until we finally got the diagnosis. And then this last year, my employer, it was really difficult because I was trying all these new medications to try to treat the narcolepsy, to put the Band-Aid on, so to speak. And it it ultimately ended up with me in the hospital, an acute care facility for a week, and where people, they didn't understand. They just thought I was moody and depressed, but a lot of it was the medication and the narcolepsy on top of it, which made everything even more difficult. I was close to reprimand at work, and once they realized that it was as severe as it was with being hospitalized, everything made a huge turn of events, and I've become more boisterous and loud and advocating and letting people know, and me know, and I've learned how to say no and saying, hey, stop this, and it causes huge self-esteem issues when people don't understand, and your self-worth kind of goes down the toilet. So getting out there and speaking and advocating, it totally makes a world of difference to people and to me. So with the help of my really close friends and husband and lots of therapy, it's been a good change of events over the last 5 months.
Thank you so much for sharing, Jen. I think that you really hit a great point, like how, there has to almost be the problem has to come to a head in a way sometimes for us to even take it seriously ourselves, and really change the precedent and say, no, this is really important. We have to advocate for ourselves because, it got so bad to the point where you were in the hospital for a week. So thank you so much for sharing. And next, I think we're going to check in with April Scarlett, our friend in the UK. April Scarlett has designed a lot of the beautiful character drawings for the Narcolepsy Not Alone campaign. And are you there, April?
Hello! I'm here. Okay.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, how many hours you've pledged for the sleep-in, and, share with us some of your signs behind you, what in Sonic, and all the good stuff that's going on there.
Okay, well, I'm April Scarlett Lee, and I'm from Worcester in the UK. I've pledged 48 hours sleeping because I can quite easily do that, really. The sleeping is important to me because I have narcolepsy, and so many people don't take sleeping disorders seriously. I mean, if you never slept, you wouldn't be alive. So it impacts my whole life. Like it takes every aspect, like, of just going out. I can't go out by myself. I can't travel by myself. Just buying things from the shop. I mean, a couple of years ago, I actually got run over because of crossing the road and sleeping, and I got like an anxiety from that now for crossing roads, and I've had like millions of times where people think you're lazy and you have to forever apologise to everyone. And I mean, I've had a time when I was at school and I had a cataplexy fit outside the history block, and my history teacher came up to me and told me that it was inappropriate for me to be on the floor like that. I couldn't answer him because I was completely out, and he tried to get a couple of pupils to pick me up, which was like, with cataplexy, it's like you're a dead weight, and so it was like, it felt like people were ripping my arms out the sockets. It's like torture when people touch you. I mean, I've had times where at college I've fallen asleep and woken up and kids are filming me on their mobile phones and laughing, It's endless, really. I mean, I had one time where I was in town and a charity person, well, the anxiety of a charity person come up to me, made me have cataplexy, and I dropped to the floor. And she just stepped over me and went off to some other people, and I thought, well, that's really nice, isn't it? But,
wow. April,
yeah.
so what's so incredible about you is that you're still just filled with such positive energy and beauty, and your art is just so incredible. So show us a little bit about what you have there on your bed, and introduce us to Sonic. I want to meet Sonic.
Alright, here's Sonic. Sonic's my trusty sleeping buddy, so yeah, he's got a little nightie on. I have got Cookie Monster onesie on, but it gets so hot when you wear onesies. But I've got my new Not Alone pink t-shirt on. Yay! And I've stuck postcards and things from the artwork on the wall. I've got Pikachu here, pink unicorn, and of course a random smiling ice cream, because why not?
You're awesome, April Scarlett. I love you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, April Scarlett. We are next going to check in with Claire. Claire, are you there?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. I'm Claire Schulte, and I'm from Nebraska. It's in the middle of the United States, in the middle of nowhere, basically. And I got diagnosed with narcolepsy with cataplexy kind of 2 years ago, and then I've had many misdiagnoses of conversion disorder or faking, like you said, like for attention. And now I have a sleep doctor. I was going to a neurologist that wasn't specialized in sleep, but now since I have a sleep doctor, I'm doing much better. I used to have over 80 full cataplexy drops a day, and now I'm just glad I can function and go to school. In my school, the people at my school have actually been very helpful. Unlike like April, I feel bad that they stepped over you, but I had people actually take care of me. Like I had a para with me, and everyone helped me, and so I had a better support, like a good support system. And I just wish everyone with narcolepsy had what I had. So, yeah.
How many hours have you pledged to sleep in? And I think I saw a kind of nice sweatshirt.
Oh yeah, I have the Narcolepsy Now one in black sweatshirt, and I have the wristband on. And then, well, actually, okay, I'll turn my computer. My dog is actually sleeping right now. You can, wait, where is Oscar? Yeah, there he is. He's sleeping. He sleeps a lot, so we take our naps together, and also why Project Sleep is important to me is because my dad has like sleep apnea, and my mom has bad sleepwalking, and the sleepwalking is dangerous, and now that we know that you can be on medicine, like she didn't know she could be on medicine to get rid of that. She's doing much better and not walking out of the house. And
good. Oh my goodness. So, has there been a time when someone has misperceived your sleepiness or your cataplexy, or do you feel like you've, pretty much had good support the whole time, or?
I think this started when I was very young, but because I always complained of being tired since kindergarten. So we just thought it was allergies, and I got allergy shots, and I did have allergies, and that went away, but helped, and then got allergy shots, and then I was still tired. That was my main complaint. I don't care if I have allergies. I want my tiredness to go away. So then heading into my sophomore year of high school that summer, our family took a trip to the Mediterranean, like it was a nice trip cruise, and all I wanted to do was sleep, and my family was just like, Claire, why are you sleeping all the time? I'm tired, I can't, like, and that's basically when we started sleep test, and that's when it all started, and now I'm a senior, and getting back to functioning finally and working on adjusting medicines now.
Yeah, that reminds me of I wrote a blog post about going to see the musical Wicked, which was for me like the excitement of my life, and then ended up sleeping through the whole second half. And looking back now, you know, at the time I guess I just thought I was sad and I was frustrated, but like why would anyone sleep through such a, you know, important moment, or for you for your cruise, you know, that's highlight of a life sort of a situation where no one would choose to sleep. And I think that's a really important thing to get across, is especially when people, you know, I slept through a lot of boring moments, but those exciting moments, that's a really big sign that something's probably wrong, because there's no motivation to sleep then, you know.
Yeah, and then like just to deal with it all, I went to like a counselor, and they didn't get like, well, if cataplexy is caused by emotion, then why don't we just work on your emotions? And I just kind of explained to them, no, I think I needed, like, I wish that was more counselors or therapists knew about that, because narcolepsy is hard to handle, and you just want someone to talk to. And
I had that same experience recently as well. So as soon as I started to mention that I had narcolepsy, then the whole conversation became this fascination over emotions. And I felt like I became a narcolepsy spokesperson in my therapy appointment. So I was like, oh, that was great. I spent money to educate them, which I love educating people, but I don't want to pay a therapist to educate them on narcolepsy.
My last time going, I was like, I am not going to change your mind. You can look like, you're not going to believe me because I'm only 17, so I didn't.
Wow. Oh, man. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. It's just really important. I know people all over the world are going to understand and say, yep, me too. So, all right. So let's check in with Tabby. Tabby, are you there?
Hey!
Hi. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you are, how many hours you've pledged.
My name is Tabby Burt. I am from Oxford, Mississippi, so way down in the south. And my husband and I and some friends have pledged to do 24 hours. We were only 12, but then we decided that's no fun, so we just went for 24, which has not been difficult. We actually started last night at 5 o'clock, so we'll go until 5 o'clock today just because of responsibilities that we have early in the morning tomorrow. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And tell us, you know, do you have any pets or people there you want us to say hi to?
I have a bunny, but he ran away. He was sleeping in my lap, and then he like woke up and like ran off. He runs the house. He's kind of what keeps me awake half the time to make sure he's not chewing stuff.
Oh my goodness.
My only little sign, I know it's like really flimsy and stuff, is my favorite thing in the world is Argyle. And I know it seems so silly, and it's not like massive and awesome like yours, but I adore Argyle, so everyone knew that this was like my poster and my thing.
I love it.
Paper specifically, just because it had Argyle, so I could make signs. So. Yeah, and all of my swag is on its way still. The delay in the FedEx trucks was really bad because we've been iced in here in Oxford. So none of the mail has been running and none of the deliveries have happened, so my shirt and my bracelets are sadly still on the trucks.
Well, that's all right. Thank you so much. And tell us why participating is important to you.
Participation is huge for me just because I, like has been said before, I was terrified to talk about my diagnosis. I was originally only diagnosed with just narcolepsy, not that that's not awful. In October of 2013, I was a dance teacher an hour and a half away, and I kept falling asleep. Obviously, a 90-minute drive at 5 in the morning, like anybody with narcolepsy, it's like terrifying. And so since I was really little, I was always a sleepy kid, couldn't stay awake, and being a theater major, it's rude to fall asleep in your friends' performances, and apparently it's not good when you fall asleep in the dressing room when you're supposed to be going on too. And then being a dance coach, not good to be sleepy while you're teaching kids and driving to teach them, and I was always told, oh, you're just stressed, you're an actress, that's just what happens. And then one day I hallucinated and saw deer running on the road and cars running me off the road. And when I woke up, my car was hanging over the side of the Tennessee River. And that's when I called my mom and said, Mom, there's really something wrong. And she finally admitted for the first time in probably 20 years that there was something wrong. And so I was very fortunate and I went to my doctor 2 days later, and they made me quit my job on the spot, which was a big, huge blessing just because I've been praying to get out of that job anyways because I hated the driving. And narcolepsy literally saved my life and got me out of a bad situation. And then about a month ago, I was diagnosed with cataplexy. And that's when I broke my silence and got so involved in trying to just be a spokesperson. And my little corner, Mississippi is the, most unhealthy state in the nation. So I really feel like there's a lot of work to do here, and it's my job. So my cataplexy involves complete body paralysis and lung paralysis to where I can't move or breathe. So not so much the weakness. So I kind of have a newer kind of cataplexy, apparently, according to my sleep specialist. So I'm excited. Cataplexy was the best thing that ever happened to me. It got me out of my shell and got me to talk and got me to believe in myself for the first time and not feel sick. So.
Yeah, I love seeing your posts on Instagram. I just think you're, a very inspirational person. And I want you to know, too, I have a friend with narcolepsy with cataplexy who is a principal dancer in Cirque du Soleil in Las Vegas, and she's just an incredible person that she had quit completely and ended up going back. So I can share, a great article that was written about her journey. And it's just, you guys are all incredible. And so you just gave me chills when you told your story. So, and also you're right about Mississippi. The South, my goodness, if you look at maps of sleepiest states, the South is very, very sleepy. So, Tabby, you got a big job, and you're just I think you're gonna really help change perception. So,
yeah, it's been. I'm already a health coach and a fitness coach, so it kind of goes right along with it. It's kind of now my new vehicle to really be more proactive. And Wicked was actually the first show that I never slept through in New York, which is why I love that post. I'm obsessed with that show, and that's what got me to go into musical theater, was because my mom's like, that's the first show you've never fallen asleep in. And it changed my life. So.
That's awesome. And tell us, was there ever a time when, someone misperceived your sleepiness, for something else?
Absolutely. I mean, especially in theater, none of my friends wanted me to come to their shows and support them because you're just going to fall asleep. I was never a big partier or drinker or anything, and my friends just kind of labeled me as unfun or the boring one because I don't know, I just felt weird. I didn't live the typical theater nightlife, and but for years I was just told, oh, you're just overworking yourself, you're just stressed out, you're hurting yourself. It kind of put a lot of the blame on me that I was harming myself as a performer and as a dancer. And college was really rough. All my professors told me that I was lazy and that they were so tired of putting up with my crap. And I was a straight A student, but I slept through every class, and I dreaded going to class, but I loved school. So that really hurt my reputation with my professors for a long time, which, theater's a networking field. That's not really fun to be put as the sick one or the one who always falls asleep. So that was never really fun, and now they're all kind of like, oh, that's why you were a good student. So that was probably the hardest going through that. But now I have an amazing support system here in Oxford, and a lot of them are actually here watching me do this as I shake. So I'm very blessed to have an amazing, amazing support system here who loves me unconditionally and offers their couches if I'm ever out and about, and is really fantastic. Yeah.
That's so awesome. It's so important to have your network. I think probably all of us have people in our lives who might not understand, and it's that little bit of sanity to be able to go back to those that do support us. And so thank you, and we love our supporters. So thank you to everyone that is out there. That I know some people were taking pictures for the campaign on behalf of their friends, and it makes me get teary-eyed really quickly. So thank you so much, Tabby.
Thank you.
All right, so that is our check-ins for today, and thank you to everyone who joined us today. I know that your stories are going to resonate with everyone, and I also just wanted to share a little bit about telling your story. I get, a fair number of questions from people about, that they have either an opportunity to be in the media or to give a presentation about narcolepsy or sleep, and where do you start? And I think that's a really good question, and so I just wanted to give some really basic ideas for getting started in giving a presentation. And also, you don't have to give a big presentation. Like, I just gave one at my workplace to my work group, but even if you just want to give a presentation to your friends and family to practice, and I do Toastmasters, and Toastmaster clubs are speaking and leadership clubs all over the world. And I think that's a really great opportunity to get to start raising your voice, and it's a really supportive environment. And also you raise awareness with a lot of people there too. So I've enjoyed that, and you can start with small speeches and then expand. So that's been a really great opportunity for me that's helped me expand my speaking. I'm going to try this screen share thing again. I have another slide. Let's try this. All right. So I really think it's important to give a presentation to really jump into your personal story and not make your presentation so much of a, informational, this is what narcolepsy is. Start with your story. And these are the questions that I think I found people most want to hear the answers to. So was there a time before you had narcolepsy? And this is, it really can be for any sleep disorder. You can put in, sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, sleepwalking, whatever your, or any other health problem. So, I put in narcolepsy because that's what my story is there. But was there a time before it? And what did that look like? Did you have major accomplishments, or, what were your life aspirations at that time? And for me, that was, I was always a very active child, and in high school, burning the candle at both ends and trying to do everything I could to get into a good college. And, I think when people hear about your aspirations, they nod their head. They have similar aspirations when they were in high school and in college, and they know that feeling. So that really connects you to your audience. Then, when did your symptoms develop? And I think that's really important there to talk about specifics, not to just say, I started feeling sleepy every single day, but instead give an example, a particular scene. So really zone into one time and say, there was one night I was so tired that I couldn't even put the sheets on my bed. I had just done the laundry, and the sheets were sitting in a pile on the bed, and I just laid down on the bare mattress and completely fell asleep for the whole night. Because then people can picture that. They see your bed. They know the feeling of putting your head down on a bare mattress with the clean sheets sitting right there. And that really drives it home a little bit more, I think, because they can picture it in their head, like a movie. For my hallucinations, I actually described that I just moved into a new apartment, and I heard a burglar breaking in and saw a man rush towards me. And people are terrified because I didn't say that it was a dream, because to me it wasn't. It was real. For my cataplexy, I described the very first time I felt it, that I was standing in the living room with my roommate, about to go for a run, wearing my running shoes, and that I felt my knees gave out. I think really zoning on those particular situations really helps people to understand. How did you find diagnosis? This is always a journey for someone with narcolepsy, and often probably for a lot of sleep disorders, because sleep disorders are so misunderstood and underdiagnosed. So what was your path? For me, that was asking quite a few different doctors, and then eventually this sports medicine therapist that had nothing to do with sleep identified the word cataplexy for me. And then, obviously, at that point, to describe the diagnosis situation, that you got a 24-hour sleep study or whatever, it took for you to get diagnosed. At this point in the presentation, usually around the diagnosis, is when I find it's really great to circle back and answer the question, then what is narcolepsy? So I use that as an opportunity to say, well, here I was diagnosed, and I learned that narcolepsy is actually a neurological disorder of the sleep-wake cycle, affecting 1 in every 2,000 people around the world, and that these different symptoms, and I'll list out the symptoms, the actual names of them, and remind them, say, this excessive daytime sleepiness. Remember how I was telling you about falling asleep, with all the sheets lying next to me in the bed, and the cataplexy with my muscles, and the hallucinations and sleep paralysis. So then you put those pictures with these symptom names. I think that's a really great tool because you really do need to introduce, the basic information about your disorder at some point, and that's a good time to kind of sneak it in. Then, of course, what's next? What does this mean for your future? I didn't know when I was diagnosed what it meant for my future. You probably didn't either. I thought it was just going to be a small little road bump and I would get over it and go back to life as planned with all my same aspirations and my dreams. And I started treatment, taking medication twice a night and during the day, and it definitely improved my symptoms a lot, but it also had a lot of side effects. I think that's important to explain for people because not a lot of people, especially young folks, are all that familiar with taking medications. I know I wasn't before I had narcolepsy. And then, of course, what was your path from there? Did you have low points? What were they? Can you describe a time when you just completely felt hopeless? And where were you? And what did you do? I know for me a big thing was that I was so angry at narcolepsy, I would scream in my car at the top of my lungs with all the windows closed so no one could hear me, but I would just drive and scream. And any high points? There was one time that I was driving and I all at once realized that I felt like my life had been such a nightmare that it couldn't get any worse. And I felt freedom, this weird sense of freedom that, an appreciation for such smaller things, especially having cataplexy. All at once I realized, okay, anytime I don't have cataplexy is really awesome. And the sun got sunnier. If there's any lessons learned, or new aspirations. So what have you learned from this? And do you have new dreams? Does this change your outlook on life so much that there are new things that you are passionate about? I've definitely learned a lot to listen to myself. I was not so in touch with my body. I was, I think like Jen described, I was, in my head and that I'm going to be perfect and do all these things, and I didn't listen to myself, and now I'm so much more in tune with my body and realizing I have to recognize it and pay attention to what's happening. And I think that's, a great sign of maturity for me. And now my aspirations have definitely changed from wanting to be a successful lawyer to now, trying to be a writer and a speaker, and raise awareness about narcolepsy, and that these new passions have made my life so much richer, connecting with people all over the world through the Narcolepsy Not Alone campaign. I know that for a lot of us, narcolepsy isn't, a happy ending kind of a thing. I do just, try to end on a positive note because people do like sort of to feel good, that to leave the presentation feeling good. And that's why it's so important to really describe those low points in there as well, because it gives people a balance. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. But I do try to end on sort of a positive note to make people feel, inspired towards the end of the presentation. In general, I avoid big sciencey words. Sometimes I'll get questions after my presentation about, well, what do they know scientifically about what's causing narcolepsy, and I will get in a little bit to the sciencey words, but I try to avoid them because they don't really mean too much to people outside of the community, and they're hard to remember. One of the anecdotes that I absolutely love to explain, though, is that narcolepsy is a disorder of the sleep-wake cycle, and the aspects of dream sleep are happening inappropriately while I'm conscious. So I explain that the that when I'm feeling emotions during the day and my body's giving out on me, seems so weird, right? But actually, every night when anyone goes into dream sleep, they become paralyzed so they don't act out their dreams, because it'd be dangerous if we were all acting out our dreams. Well, for me, during the day, when I'm experiencing everyday normal emotions, my brain misperceives that for dreaming and paralyzes me in the same way while I'm conscious. People love this point because they've learned something about themselves. They've learned about that they are paralyzed during dream sleep, and a lot of people were not aware of that. And that now they've learned something about themselves, but they've also learned something about narcolepsy. And they cannot believe that I would experience this, intense paralysis while I'm conscious. So that's just a little bit, some simple tips for sharing your personal story and a little bit of an outline for how you could design your presentation. And I hope that is helpful. I have prepared a PowerPoint presentation that anyone can use. It describes some more about narcolepsy, and it's on my mobile app, but I can also email that to you at any time if that's helpful. And we have brochures and postcards, so if you're ever giving a presentation, please contact Project Sleep and we'll get you some materials to share as well. In closing, I want to just go over what is happening from here. The sleep-in continues over the weekend. Later today, there's the N Chat, which is a Twitter chat, not hosted by Project Sleep, but an incredible group of people host this the first Saturday of every month, and that starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you just use the hashtag #NChat to join the conversation. So please tune in there and share your sleep-in photos through the NChat as well. And that's a really great hour to talk about some different things. I'm sure they'll be asking about awareness, considering it's Suddenly Sleepy Saturday. And then tomorrow we have the Sleep-In Twitter chat. We're going to host that at the same time that we hosted this today, and we have some questions outlined for a great 1-hour discussion about sleep and sharing your story. And last but certainly not least, we have the official concert. It's so exciting. We have Kendall Patrick and the Headless Betties, who will be putting on a show from Canada, and I think they even have some sort of a puppet show to go along with it. This group has been so incredibly supportive. Chiro, our friend, is their manager, and they have just gone above and beyond to support the Sleep-In. So please tune in at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. We'll be closing out the Sleep-In with a wonderful concert with them. Oops. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in today. It's been incredible so far. I can't even tell you, seeing your pictures last night, I actually didn't sleep very much, I have to be honest. I was too busy looking at your photos and liking them and getting ready for today. But I'm excited to sleep in the rest of this weekend. So on behalf of everyone at Project Sleep and the Narcolepsy Not Alone campaign, happy Suddenly Sleepy Saturday and happy Sleep Week. And I'll see you again soon. All right, bye for now.